Okay, hello everyone. So today I'm going to present my presentation of my final work from research tools and methods. So my topic was sentiment analysis of special text in the Kazakh language using deep learning and ontology-based methods. So as we know, one of the most important tasks in the study of natural language is sentiment analysis. So English, Turkish, Russian, and other languages have all seen the development of several tools and resources for sentiment analysis, but there are no resources or data for sentiment analysis in Kazakh. So throughout this paper, many research studies were analyzed. So in this paper, we compare rule-based and machine learning-based approach for sentiment analysis of texts in the Kazakh language based on morphological rules and ontological model and deep learning. So if I move to the part of review and introduction and background. So as we know, these days it's possible to get the necessary information, recommendations, or reviews of people thanks to the widespread use of the internet, because individuals now freely speak and publish their thoughts online. So every day new information appears on the network with a volume of several terabytes. So most of them are blogs, tweets, articles, and various texts. And so on. So the volume of information is so huge that we cannot manually process this one. So therefore, the problem of creating formal models and software tools for automation and analysis are very relevant. So as we know, the sentiment analysis has been used at many levels, starting with the overall text level and moving down to the sentence, phrase, and aspect levels. So when someone, for example, makes a verbal, written, or other kinds of threats against another person, they are often referring to a particular criminal conduct. So some illegal internet information is also found using sentiment analysis. So the use of sentiment analysis to identify the content that's restricted is a novel approach that is effective. So research on sentiment analysis of text in Kazakh language has just lately started. So the duties of sentiment analysis are mostly implemented in English, Russian, or Chinese languages and other languages. Because of this, there are many pre-made methods, mathematical models, or linguistic resources available for sentiment analysis of the Kazakh language. So this study may be seen as an analysis of methods of sentiment analysis of Kazakh language literature, as well as an attempt to put it into practice. So in order to assess the sentiment of Kazakh phrases by formalizing the morphological rules, this work offers a rule-based and deep learning techniques for sentiment analysis of Kazakh texts, utilizing a dictionary based on morphological rules and ontological model, additional large scale of dataset for machine learning. So if you're going to say about related works, so first one is sentiment analysis using deep learning. So in this part, the presented research studies, so deep recurrent neural networks are used to discuss contemporary methods for completing task of sentiment analysis of news items in Kazakh and Russian languages. So to take into account the long-term dependence of the entire text, they employ long short-term memory. So therefore, the reason demonstrates that positive outcomes may obtain even without being familiar with a specific language linguistic qualities. So here, the company of their machine learning methods will be word-to vectors. So the core concept behind the word embedding is the representation of words using vectors in a way that preserves the semantic links between words as fundamental linear algebraic operation. So that is the architecture of word-to-vector model. So the SIBO architecture predicts the recurrent word based on the context. The escape gram predicts the surrounding words given the current word, for example, in the right-hand side. So this is the long short-term memory structure. It employs three gates: input, forget, and output. So instead of single output, so the next related work is ontology-based sentiment analysis. It's like a rule-based sentiment analysis in Kazakh language. They have used such kind of formals, for example, adjective plus noun, adjective plus negation plus noun, adjective plus verb, and negation, and adverb plus adjective. For example, if you're going to explain it briefly, firstly, let's say the attitude of the sentence is negative if the extracted word is negative and adjective and the following word is a noun. If negative adjective or noun is followed by the negation word yemes in Kazakh, so not the meaning of the sentence is changed to a positive one. So if you're gonna say about third one, the word immediately after the verb should be like if an adjective is followed by a verb phrase, so the attitude of the sentence is a positive if the adjective is negative, and there is a negation word missed, so the following verb. So next one, with a verb phrase is followed by an adjective, so the word immediately after the verb should be like in other way. So the attitude of the sentence is negative if the adjective is positive and there is a negation word miss. So about methods and methodology. So the purpose of this article was to identify the like various techniques of sentiment analysis in the Kazakh language and to describe the linguistic strategies for sentiment analysis. So it was done on the basis of literature study, literature review. So in order to determine which will function more quickly and from which we will benefit, so we attempt to compare matching learning algorithms with the rule-based approach to sentiment analysis. So for matching learning, news stories labeled by human data collection were specifically chosen for sentiment analysis and include neutral, positive, and negative pieces. So each paper may have one of the following emotions, for example, positive, negative, or neutral. So from these data sets, some like reviews were selected as training data, some as cross-validation data, and some as test data. The review sentiment is expressed as 1 for good reviews, 0 for unfavorable reviews, and 2 for neutral reviews. And for rule-based method, we're going to use 3 types of libraries that will have the following emotions. It's also the positive, negative, and neutral, and we'll apply the special rules which were mentioned in the related works. So, and for the rule-based method, we are going to use again 3 libraries, as I said. Then evaluation metrics for recommendation approach. So that is our results. If we compare the results final, so the for deep learning based method, the accuracy for sentiment analysis of Kazakh language was 72.8%, while for rule based method there were 83%. So in previous parts we have shown the results for each machine learning and deep learning based and rule based methods. So we can see that the result of the rule based method were like much higher than of that machine learning or deep learning methods. So as a conclusion, overall, like we examined 2 alternative approaches to Kazakh language sentiment analysis in the study and attempted to demonstrate the efficiency of the rule-based approach. So thus we learned that using a rule-based sentiment analysis approach allowed us to like further employ OWL and RDF schema and deliver terms with sentiment in a model form. So the formal criteria like governing the how the mood of Kazakh sentence is determined to like constitute the base of queries. So, and based on the data and outcomes we previously indicated, we can conclude that the rule-based technique performed better than the machine learned or deep learning based methods. So that is the end of my presentation. Thank you for your attention.